why we're in this particular spot is over here is a new peach tree in Ron's memory. So that's why we're here. And Meredith's got a few words she wants to share, and then I'll take the mic back from her, and I'm gonna give a memory, and we're gonna hopefully get you all to participate. Don't have to, don't want to, okay?
Hello. Thank you all for coming. So, I can't believe how many people are here. It's awesome. Ronald would be excited. I couldn't decide what to write, but I thought I'd just start from the beginning. The first time I met Ronald, I was a senior in high school, and I was with some friends at a party. I was at a house where my friend's older brother lived, and we were just listening to music, and there was these guys bothering us a little bit, nothing too bad or anything, but then Ron and Glenn came over and just kind of like shooed them away and said, you girls have fun, and went on their way. So that's the first time I met him. And then 8 years later, I was at a place in Kirkland called House of Fame. Anybody know that?
Oh yeah.
And I thought he looked familiar. And so I said, hey, come on over. And, started talking to him. And he didn't remember it. So, anyway. But we just got along really well, and we were just together ever since. I knew I was falling in love with him when I realized that we had a lot in common, of course. He liked to hunt and fish, and in my family, we grew up with that. Music, family, all that, he loves, and that's the same thing. He also taught me to play darts, cards, a lot of card games, and play pool. And I think a lot of you know that about him. Ron, one of the things he's most proud of, he's the youngest of 11 kids. He was an uncle twice before he was born, and he has 161 nieces and nephews.
Wow.
Great, great, on down the line. So besides Ryan, of course, his son, he's most proud of. That's his second thing he's most proud of. He was happiest when he was busy, always doing something. If he sat around too long, he'd get grumpy. He loved his lawnmower. He loved Rick's tractor that lived here quite a bit of time. where we went. One of the most recent happy memories. Well, we had quite a busy year last year, actually. We went to 2 weddings, Alex Hubert's and Lexi Langdon's. Well, she's not Langdon anymore. Remington. And we went to the Led Zeppelin movie. Shannon was just reminding me of that. We saw the Led Zeppelin, How to Become Led Zeppelin, I think it's called. He really liked that. But one of the most recent memories that he really enjoyed was his last hunting trip with Ryan. He knew his dad couldn't really walk very far to do the hunting, so he was kind of scoping it out a couple days before and found a place where he noticed some deer hanging out in the hunting area. And so they got up, kind of got a late start, but as soon as they got there, they saw the biggest deer they ever got, and so that they got it. So that made him really happy. There's a picture of it in the house where he's carrying it, the body with the tractor. So you can see it. Yeah. So one of the things I miss is the loudness. Constant loudness. You knew where he was, what he was doing at all times. Just to be in the immediate area. I think the neighbors can all attest to that as well. So with that, with Ronald's loudness, I say, let's all get loud and have a good time, and he would appreciate all of this so much.
Way to go.
I'll go first, then you get to go.
It's gonna be short,
I'll
okay?
I'll go first, then you can go.
Okay, so my favorite memory of Ron, we were trying to figure out the date the other day. It's probably about 1995, and I had my second kid, my son Ron Brooks, and we were looking for babysitters. So Meredith and Ron volunteered, and Jeff and I went out and had a good time. It's late in the evening, and when we came over to pick him up, there's this man who I consider to be a Tootsie Pop. He's got a hard crack on the outside and a soft chewy on the inside. And there he was, asleep on the couch, as you normally be, but with that was Brooks asleep on top of his chest, and that melted my heart. So that's one of my favorite memories of Ron.
Does anybody want to?
Okay, well, I'm Ron's sister. We were very close and very emotional, so I'm not going to tell a story about him. We all know how great he was. But I want to take this time to thank Mary. She's so gracious and it treated Ron's family so good all these years. And she put this on and she's so strong and we love her so much. And that's what I want to say. We love Ronald and we're going to miss him forever.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Shanna, Uncle Ronald's niece, one of them. There are so many memories I have with Uncle Ronald. When my sisters and I were little, he would always play with us. He chased us with his tickle monsters, played bumps in the road, and forever changed the words to row, row, row your boat. In case anyone didn't know, it's Merity, 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 like a fun dream. He even taught Tiffany and me a made-up language from when he was a kid. Uncle Rodney and Mom would know this. Ilify, Milithus, Ilithum. I have tried to be just as fun as he was with my nieces and nephews, and now with my own kid. I remember when Ace Ventura came out, and I swear Uncle and my dad talked to each other with their butt cheeks for weeks. It was hilarious, and I can still hear their laughs. If you haven't seen that movie, that would sound kind of weird, but you'll just have to watch it. He was always some kind of a rock and roll encyclopedia. If you wanted to know the name of a song or who the band was, he knew them all. Led Zeppelin was his favorite, of course. As we all know, Uncle always knew best when it came to food. He knew the best way to eat pancakes with brown gravy, cream puffs only if you had chocolate mousse, popsicles, one in each hand, and of course, the lemon pie. Kathy knows what I'm talking about. There are many more, but you'd have to ask Lindsay, because when we had get-togethers, she was the only one that could handle being in the kitchen with him. Aside from all the good laughs, rock and roll wizardry, and good food, you always knew he loved his family. Even when he was grumpy, you just knew. I want to thank Auntie Merity for sticking with him for all these years and for giving us Ryan. We all know you were the perfect person for him. And thank you for always giving us a place to make memories.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a longtime neighbor and good friend. Ron, one of the best memories I have of Ron was, well, not long before he passed, he went to a celebration of life for another friend's brother-in-law, and he came down to our house and he's like, yeah, I would, and you told me we're just gonna come down to the hood for a couple minutes. It's been 2 goddamn hours. So I said, okay, hey, no problem, I'll give you a ride home. So we go home, he's telling me one of his stories about how he went to jail, and when they told him that he was free and he made bail, he's like, hell no, I ain't going home. I know I'm dead. But anyway, one of the other fond memories I have is one night, place was during COVID, that he come over and one of his friends, Terry, that I live with, he wanted him to go with him to Monroe to Tyler's to go get Tyler's dog, and he didn't want to go, so I went with him, and we go get the dog and having a good time. Went to Monroe and back. Well, then we had to go save Jimbo downtown because he broke downtown, and we're downtown, and it's getting later and later, and he's like, God damn it, I wish Jimbo would get his shit together because I've got to get my wife's car home or I'm going to be in big trouble. And so finally we ended up leaving, and we ended up home. But yeah, it was fun. He was a good guy. I really gonna miss that guy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jimbo.
Jimbo.
And if we all knew Ron, he's always good for a joke. So I'm going to tell one. So we got Jesus and Moses and this elderly feller. They're out there golfing. So Moses gets up there first and he hits the ball, and the ball's going right for the pond. And just before it hits the pond, the water splits, bounces off the bottom, up right on the green, and Jesus says, nice shot, Moses. So now it's Jesus' turn, and he gets up there and he hits the ball. It's going for the pond, but it lands on top of the pond. So he just walks on out there and chips her onto the green, and Moses says, nice shot, Jesus. Well, the elderly feller, he didn't fare so well. He didn't make it to the pond. But then this gust of wind come by and blow the ball right in the pond, and out of the pond comes a fish with that ball in its hand, or in its mouth, and comes up, and the eagle flies by and grabs the fish, and then they drops the ball on the green, and all of a sudden a squirrel comes running out of the woods with his tail, swishes that ball right in the hole, and Jesus says, nice shot, Dad. Thanks. Who's next? Who's next? All right.
Can you hear me?
That's the only clean joke
I'm
I know.
Jackie, and I'm a good friend of Verity, as is Linda. We started working with Mary what, 25 years ago when we all met. So Mary and I just became like this incredible couple friendship, and I love her so much. And Ron was such a big part of that. And the story I want to tell was, I am an LA girl. So when it comes to hunting, that does not wash with me. And I did not understand it. I don't know how anybody could go out with a rifle and kill Bambi. So that part freaked me out. So one day I was coming over here, and Barry called me and said, I just want to give you a warning. Ronald is out in the yard with a rifle, and there is a buck out there, and he's getting ready to shoot it. And I said, well, I'm not coming over. I can't see this. So she called me back and said, Ron has put the rifle away. You're safe. So I was safe, by the way. But when I came in the house, Ron sat me down and tried to explain the whole concept of killing the deer. And it was basically that they're starving to death, and so you kill a deer because there's too many of them. And so you have to understand we're doing it for the good of the deer population. So I accepted that, not really. But I still couldn't understand going out with a gun, rifle, and killing Bambi. But I did my best to understand all of that, put it aside, and I love the God. I understood the difference between him and I and how you grow up and what you're used to. But Meredy, you know, Donna, Linda, and we love you so much.
Yes, we do.
So you're gonna be fine.
Well, I'm one of Ron's neighbors. And I gotta say, as far as somebody who's kind, soft-spoken, tender-hearted, just awesome friend. Well, enough about Ryan. Okay. Yeah, if you know Ron, chaos and loudness is it's all over his wheelhouse. But I will say one of the things about Ron that I've always appreciated, he would fly home from Florida to help you out. He would give you the shirt off his back, when it comes to helping, he would help you, and he's one that will help you until the job is finished, and really never expect anything in return. He helped me build my pole building, and it was contentious. I won't lie to you. It was contentious at times. But in terms of when it comes down, the man had a huge heart. As loud as he was, he loved twice as much. So I consider myself very lucky to. Well, that's my last name, but also just very lucky to have him as a friend. And Meredy, you're an angel. You are an angel.
Yes. Hi. I'm Jim. I'm Meredy's brother, Ron's brother-in-law, and known Ron for a very long time, and he's always been a very special part of our family. So many memories. But I'm going to share a couple with you. Of course, with Ron, one of our favorite things was to sit around the campfire at night and just listen to his stories of his childhood, all of his friends, all of his adventures, his fishing, great stories. And one story that we had together as a family that kind of follows the theme that everybody else has been talking about with Ron's his love of hunting. And so they had another house on Little Bear Creek Road, not far from here, and we were having Easter there at their house. And in the backyard of the house, and this is not a large yard, this is a fairly small yard, and there's a swing set in the back of the house. And the kids are out in the yard playing, and Ron and I are in the garage. And in mid-conversation, all of a sudden, I see his eyes light up. And he's like, "Go get the kids out of the yard." I'm like, "Why? What's going on?" Just go get the kids out of the yard. I'm like, "Okay." And so we got the kids to come into the house, and as we're all staring out at the yard, all of a sudden somebody says, "Oh, look on the swing set, a pheasant." And then, not even a second later, boom! And the pheasant disappeared. So that was Ron in a nutshell.
That was good.
Okay, any other takers that I didn't get a chance to?
Except the neighbor.
Hi there, my name is John Steer.
Yeah.
I'm over here next door to Ron. I've been Ron's neighbor for almost 30 years, and he's been a very interesting neighbor, as you can all imagine. Great guy. Ron could always pull a joke out of his hat.
Mike.
Closer?
There you go.
Okay, Ron could always pull a joke out of his hat, and all of which I've forgotten about, but they're all just hilarious. Bring a smile to your face, which I appreciate a lot. And Ron and I did a lot of work over the years. I'm a construction guy also. And we cut a lot of trees together, and included some around here sometimes. Kind of a funny story. It was kind of character of Ron. I remember one time we were cutting some firs down through some hazard trees, and he was underneath one of them pounding wedges for me. I was doing a back cut on one, and it come down, and a branch came down and just bopped him right in the skull and just put him on the ground. Put him on the ground, and he's rolling over and cussing and swearing and growling, and moaning. And I bent over, kind of go, "Boy, you bleeding? You all right?" And I said, "Hey, Ron, see over there on the tailgate? You know what? That's your hard hat. How come it's not on?" But anyway, another thing that was kind of fun to remember about Ron is right about 7 p.m. in the evening, beautiful night like tonight, Nancy and I would be sitting down barbecuing, getting some steaks going, sipping on a couple glasses of wine, and all of a sudden, that mower gets fired up. It's time to mow Ron's lawn. Remember that, Brian? My father like son, huh? Bless his heart. I'll always remember Ron. Thank you.
He's doing a good job controlling things.
I think Dell wanted to.
I would jokingly refer to Ron as my trigger happy, good for nothing, worthless dirtbag neighbor. I love him.
Who's that?
All right. First of all, my name is Craig Hebert, and was brought into Ron's life through Meredith, a high school friend, and got to be with Ron quite a bit. We got to raise our kids together, and it's a big part of my children's life. But there's a couple things. One's probably a little bit of a pet peeve, and it has to do with fishing. He would take me to the lake to go fishing. And I'm a novice fisherman. I used to fish a whole lot when I was a kid. And we'd sit down with the dogs. Of course, there'd be a styrofoam cooler between us, probably the most important thing at the time. But he would, we would put the power bait on the line, with the bobber. We'd have chairs, throw the line out there. Basically, the bobbers are right next to each other. And I sit there, nothing. And that man would sit right next to me with the same bait, the same bobber, the same fishing pole, the same everything, and pull 10 trout out in an hour while I'm sitting there doing nothing but drinking beer. And it's irritated me. I don't know. I had to catch some fish. And then the other thing, we talk about patience and stuff. I'm not sure patience was necessarily one of his finest things. And one time, we had a group of families that went camping up at the KOA in Lebanon. There's 4 or 5 families. Some of us are here that were probably there. And they had a big, gigantic pile of wood rounds, and you had to split them yourself. And there was one more. And I went with Ron to go split up firewood. And there was this gentleman that came in and picked up the mall, and he picked a round to split up. And he hit that round probably 25 to 50 times before it even, and the mall was just bouncing back. And Ron, I could see him boiling up a little bit. And I'm watching, and finally, he had enough. He grabbed them all out of this gentleman's hand and said, "Listen, Paul Bunyan, that round has knots all over it. There are hundreds of rounds here that don't have knots in it." And so he took it and split up about 5 rounds in a hurry and handed back. Oh no, I think he handed back them all and said, "Here, Paul Bunyan." Anyway. That's one of my biggest memories of Ron. That's
And my name is Daryl Dahlquist, and I've known Ron since I was 12, maybe 11. And the first day we met, I remember, we were down in Kirkland at the marina, Moss Bay. For some reason, he just went out and punched me right in the face. Okay? It was my first introduction to Ron Lilienthal. I had respect for him. And the next thing you know, he's taking me up to his house on 3rd Street in Kirkland, and I was blown away at the love and the family, and that they took me in like I was one of their own kids. For years, I could go to that house on 3rd Street and welcomed, never turned away. And so I just want to go to one of the best memories. We were all at this party in Bellevue, and our buddy's bands was playing there. And it was time to leave the party. And we could see that these kids from another city of ours, was looking to steal the instruments, okay? And they're starting to carry a guitar out the door, and I'm like, that ain't happening. And at that time, Ron was already down to the car and leaving. And next thing you know, I'm surrounded by at least a dozen people wanting to kill me because I wanted to stop them from stealing their stuff. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, Kathy Bailey, just went outside and started screaming, Ronald, you have to come back. Daryl's in trouble. Within 1 minute, they all went away. They went bye-bye. Ronald took 2 of them, just beat the living shit out of them because he could see what was going on. And he actually probably maybe saved my life for the first time. There might have been a few. And that was just one of the few. I was never turned away. I was always welcome at Alice's house. And I wouldn't know Rodney. I wouldn't know Dorothy. I wouldn't know Bonnie. I wouldn't know Judy. I wouldn't have known Cheryl. And how many kids? 11. And I remember distinctly the day Ronald's brother had a service, Lenny, as people may not remember Lenny, war hero. He got killed topping a tree, fell out of a tree, and got killed. But this day, he and Michael Olson walked right by my house, because I lived a block away from Green's funeral home for years. And I'm like, what's going on, guys? And he's like, oh, we were at services, my brother died. What? Yeah. And for years, I went in their house, Alice's house, and there's always a picture on the wall of Lenny in his uniform. And just stories they would tell about Lenny. Philip,
Oh, wow, you're
Rodney,
small.
Bonnie, were family to me. Really, I mean, it was like, I want to say the mafia, because I was untouchable because of them, and especially Ron. And for, I would say, 30 years, we were very best friends. And for 30 years, I always had a place to go if it wasn't comfortable where I was. Always taken in. I was always fed. And just the memories of 3rd Street and the Lilienthal's, the Casey Blanchards, Kurt Perry, Tom Littell. We all grew up together. And I can honestly say those were the best times of my life. Yeah. Kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, Jesus, we were tight, man. We were one tight-knit family of buddies, man. Always had each other's back. Then I turned 13. And I was still welcome. Always. And it's so nice to see all you people here to come out for Ron and Meredy. And, you know, the last 10 years together, we were just working and still partying and starting to get families. I was still involved with his life, his family. And I'll never forget him. And I gotta say, I'm tired of this shit. I can't believe what's been going on in the last 10 years. I mean, I'm losing all my freaking best friends I had in my life. You wouldn't understand how close we were. You know, I mean, we were tight. Give our shirt off of each other's back just to take care of you. And Ron was that guy. You know, great sense of humor. Good jokes. Good family. And I'll never forget him. I won't forget Casey Blanchard. I won't forget Glenn Walker. I won't forget Bud Mannon. I won't forget all the people I've lost in the last 10 years. It's just, I can't believe I'm still here. But I guess that's all I got to say. Meredy, thank you for inviting me. Okay. I'll never forget it. My life is changing. I'm one of the few, I am the only, that's left of all my best friends growing up. Bonnie, I'll never forget you. Always there. Rodney, I love you. Dorothy, Judy, everybody. I wouldn't know them if it wasn't for my friend. You never turned me away, no matter how much of an idiot I was. Ronald, you fuck, I miss you. I miss you and I miss you. And I'll never forget you. I'll never forget your voice, your face, your never-ending orneriness at times. But a very funny man and a very hard-working man. When he got a family, man, he took care of them, you know. They were covered.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you, Meredith.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Hi there. My name is Diane, and I met Meredith in ninth grade. We've been best friends forever. I remember when she met Ron. She was telling me about Mike. But he's really nice, so kind, has an amazing family. Can you hear me? Okay. He's a family man, and that was the beginning. And they got married. It was a sweet wedding, and our kids, Ryan and Alex, were about the same age. Ryan, I always consider him one of my sons, right? Anyway, you choose your families, they say, that you're given your families. But with Ron and Meredith, we chose our family. Ron and Meredith are Uncle Ron and Auntie Meredith, and it's always been that way. And I think all of us here feel the same way, that they were family and friends, but they were part of our family. Ron was the kindest, sweetest person. He definitely had a temper, but that temper always ended up in love. And always the stories were great. It wasn't a kid he met that he didn't love, and vice versa. And the world was definitely a better place with Ron in it. So love you, Ron, and we'll miss you and think about you every day.
Ron was my neighbor on Little Bear Creek Road, so I've known him for that long. He's always been real good with kids, and they really like him. Not last, but I think 2, maybe even 3 April 1st ago, I had my grandkids with me, and they want to play an April Fool's joke on Ron. And they've done a couple of things. And we're getting ready to say goodbye, and we're getting ready to take off. And it starts snowing now. Ron says, "Did you hear Santa's coming if it snows in April?" And you can just see the 2 kids' eyes light up. "Really?" And Ron goes, "No, April Fools." And Madison goes, and she's about 3.5 or 4 at the time. She goes, "Good one, Ron." And it was just, I mean, he got a good relationship with the kids. And there, I got a lot of stories, but can't think of some of them. The funniest ones probably. Anyways, that's the latest one. It really got me, so.
Good job.
Okay, so Mary, it wants to extend. If anybody wants to stick around longer than the 4 o'clock on the invitation, you are more than welcome to stay. And we all appreciate you coming and sharing your stories.